warm welcome to our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. My name is Amina Jibril. Now, a quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Nigecomsat. President Bola Tinubu has been urged to assent to the road reform bill. Nigerian Institution of Highway and Transportation Engineers (NIHTE) made the call at its 2024 International Conference and Annual General Meeting held in Abuja. The bill, according to the institute, aims to revolutionize the country's transportation infrastructure by ensuring the development and maintenance of a high-quality road network, expected to improve transportation efficiency, boost economic growth, and enhance road safety across Nigeria. The national chairman of the institute, Engineer Saidu Hassan, speaking at the meeting, noted that the bill had been passed by both the 8th and 9th National Assemblies and is currently undergoing review by the 10th Assembly. President Bola Tinubu has written to the Senate seeking confirmation of Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede's appointment as the substantive Chief of Army Staff. This was contained in a statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga. In the letter, the President sought the Army Chief's confirmation in accordance with the provision of Section 218, subsection 2 of the 1999 Constitution as amended and Section 18, subsection 1 of the Armed Forces Act. Recall that President Tinubu appointed Oluyede as the acting Chief of Army Staff on October 30th, following the illness of the late Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja. The federal government has stated that it is closely monitoring the legal proceedings of Nigerian Finnish citizen and leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Simon Ekpa. In a statement by the spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Kemibie Ebienfa, the federal government disclosed that it will continue to track the progress of Ekpa's legal case. The government further emphasized the importance of the proceedings in addressing the influence of IPOB and transnational actors on Nigeria's national security. Ekpa was detained on November 21, 2024 by Finnish authorities, and the Finnish District Court of Päijät-Häme ruled to keep him in detention on probable cause, citing his alleged involvement in inciting violence through social media. The Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Ali Pate, says the training of 120,000 frontline health workers to improve healthcare service delivery in Nigeria has begun. Pate disclosed this at the opening ceremony of the 65th National Health Council (NHC) meeting 2024 in Maiduguri, Borno State. Pate, who said the training was aimed at strengthening the workers' capacity in critical service areas and accelerate improvement in the country's health outcomes, promised to do a lot in other areas to help Nigerians dealing with the cost of care and affordability. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Medical Association (NMA) has said that increasing the retirement age of health workers from 60 to 65 will address Jagba syndrome. The first vice president of the association, Dr. Benjamin Oluwajebutu, stated this when he led some members of the NMA on a courtesy visit to the House of Representatives member Wale Ahmed of APC in Lagos in Abuja. The association expressed appreciation to Wale Ahmed for sponsoring the bill on harmonized retirement age. Oluwajebutu called for speedy passage of the bill to increase the retirement age of health workers in the country from 60 to 65 and the maximum pensionable years of service from 35 to 40 years. Also in the news, the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, has called on Tertiary Education Fund, TET Fund, to extend its support to educational institutions under the Nigerian Air Force. He made the call when he paid a courtesy visit to the Tertiary Education Trust Fund headquarters in Abuja. Ramsey Agbo has details.
The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, also commended the Executive Secretary of TED Fund, Soni Echonu, for his strategic initiatives, particularly the increase in the Education Trust Fund from 2.5% to 3%. He noted that his boost has significantly enhanced funding for infrastructure, research, and faculty development across Nigeria's tertiary institutions.
The TED Fund has been instrumental in advancing AFIT's mission by sponsoring institution-based research projects. Notably, the Center for Innovation and Research, guided by a subcommittee of his board, identified 10 research projects that have been sponsored through TED Fund's intervention. Additionally, TED Fund has generously funded the construction of critical infrastructure within the institute, further enhancing its capacity to deliver its mandate. Furthermore, the fund provides annual interventions across multiple areas, including ICT development, library enhancement, entrepreneurship, and staff training and career enhancement. Additionally, TED Fund has supported capacity building by sponsoring AFI staff to attend conferences both within Nigeria and internationally. We are therefore indeed very, very grateful to TED Fund.
In response, TED Fund Executive Secretary Soni Echonu acknowledged the Air Force active participation in the recent National Research Fair and exhibition. He assured the Air Marshal that his request would be relayed to the Board of Trustees for consideration.
Express our profound appreciation to the armed forces, including the Nigerian Air Force, for your support, for your loyalty and sacrifice in keeping us safe and in supporting Mr. President to guarantee security across the length and breadth of this country. We are indeed very proud of your exploits, particularly we are following what is happening in the Northwest. And we believe that with this concerted efforts, tranquility, peace, and security will be restored to enable us to focus more.
The visit concluded on a positive note, with both parties reaffirming their commitment to advancing education in Nigeria. Ramsey Enoch Agbo reporting for Global Television.
And following recent legal controversies surrounding the Rivers State's financial entitlement, the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation says it will adhere to court orders regarding the disbursement of federal allocations to the state. The Director of Press and Public Relations at the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, Bawa Mokwa, said since there is a notice of appeal, the notice of appeal has overridden the earlier court judgment, and so far it is a court order that will be obeyed. The assurance comes amid a federal high court's ruling on October 30th, 2024, which directed the Central Bank of Nigeria to withhold further monthly allocations to Rivers State. The Edo State Governor, Senator Monday Okpegbolo, has set up a 12-member committee to recover all missing government vehicles under the administration of his predecessor, former Governor Godwin Obaseki. Inaugurating the committee, Governor Okpegbolo gave the committee 2 weeks to deliver on its mandate and ensure that government vehicles in private hands are fully recovered and subsequently returned to the state government. The committee chairman, Kelly Okungbowa, assured that they would do justice to the assignment. And the National Board for Technical Education has called on polytechnics nationwide to prioritize equipping students with practical skills, emphasizing the need to shift away from an over-reliance on paper qualifications. The call was made by the Executive Secretary of the NBTE, Professor Idris Bugaje, during a one-day retreat for members of the National Assembly Committees on Higher Education and TED Fund in Abuja. In his remarks, the chairman of the Senate Committee on Tertiary Institutions and TET Fund, Muntari Danduse, urged Nigerian polytechnics to adopt a skills-first approach, just as he highlighted ongoing legislative efforts aimed at enhancing the capacities of polytechnics to foster industrial development. And the National Human Rights Commission, NHRC, with the support of the Rule of Law and Anti-Corruption Program Phase 2, has rolled out a 16-day activism across the nation to commemorate the International Human Rights Day 2024. The Executive Secretary of NHRC, Dr. Tony Ojukwu, at a press conference in Abuja, said this year's activities is collectively aimed at strengthening partnerships, enhance awareness, and foster collaborative action in the fight against inequality. Ojukwu said by bringing diverse stakeholders together, the Commission seeks to reaffirm its commitment to promoting equality, justice, and the protection of human rights for all Nigerians. He emphasized that the media is a critical partner in amplifying the efforts of the Commission, calling on journalists to ensure that the message of human rights reaches every corner of the society. Ojukwu added that throughout the 16 days of activism, the Commission will engage in various activities that will raise awareness about gender-based violence, promote gender equality, as well as advocate for policy and legislative reforms to prevent and respond to violence against women and girls. The Islamic Morality Police in the northern Nigeria city of Kano are to resume their crackdown on betting shops after Supreme Court's ruling on gambling. The Nigerian Supreme Court had squashed a 2005 law that established a National Lottery Commission and legalized sports betting and gambling, ruling that gambling regulation is a matter for state government. Abba Sufi, the Director General of the Hizbah in Kano State, one of the 12 predominantly Muslim Nigerian states in which Islamic Sharia is used alongside federal law, has said that the Hizbah will resume clampdown on betting shops with renewed determination since betting is illegal under Kano State Sharia law. And you're watching Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. When Midday News returns, Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, tells mining companies to spearhead establishment of mining development banks. Details of this, as well as foreign and sports stories, coming right after this break. Please stay with us. Thank you for staying tuned, and now the news continues in business news. The Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, LCCI, has warned the federal government about debt sustainability issues if it goes ahead with a plan to borrow a fresh external loans of $2.2 billion. In a statement, the Director General of LCCI, Dr. Chinyere Alamona, said the plan has caused some stir in the business community driven by the current weak fundamentals, and she warned of potential debt sustainability issues and impact on infrastructure. Alamona said that there was a need for diversifying funding sources beyond debt financing. She noted that the federal government could intensify efforts to expand the non-oil revenue base through tax reforms and promote export-driven sectors like agriculture and manufacturing. The Naira depreciated to 1,750 Naira per dollar in the parallel market on Friday from 1,745 Naira per dollar on Thursday. But the Naira appreciated to 1,652 Naira 62 kobo per dollar in the Nigerian Autonomous Foreign Exchange Market, NAFEM. Data from FMDQ showed that the indicative exchange rate for NAFEM fell to 1,652 Naira 62 kobo per dollar from 1,658 Naira 67 kobo per dollar on Thursday, indicating 6 Naira 5 kobo appreciation for the Naira. The volume of dollar traded grew by 48.5% to $243.05 million from $163.66 million traded on Thursday. And the Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, has called on mining companies to spearhead the establishment of mining development banks. In a statement by the Minister's Special Assistant on Media, Segun Tomori, the Minister made the call in Abuja during a Chief Executive Officer's CEO roundtable held on the sidelines of the 2024 Nigeria Mining Week. He urged the CEOs to take charge of creating a mining bank driven by the private sector to minimize government interference, ensure sustainability, and provide long-term credit for the sector's growth. Alake also sued for continued cooperation from mining executives in support of ongoing reforms, noting that they are vital to creating a sustainable and resilient framework for the long-term development of the mining industry. And now moving on to the foreign scene, where Russian President Vladimir Putin has promised more combat test firing of an experimental hypersonic missile launched at Ukraine. This comes as the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky appealed for updated air defense system to meet the new threat. This is contained in a latest statement from the leaders hours after Ukraine's parliament shut down over heightened fears of a missile attack. After Moscow fired the new missile at the Ukrainian city of Dnipro, Putin said there would be more tests of the new Oreshnik missile. And NATO chief Mark Rutte held talks with the U.S. President-elect Donald Trump in Florida on the global security issues facing the alliance. NATO spokeswoman Farah Dakhalla said the meeting took place in Palm Beach. Trump, in his first term, aggressively pushed Europe to step up defense spending and question the fairness of the NATO transatlantic alliance. The former Dutch Prime Minister had said he wanted to meet Donald Trump 2 days after his election to discuss the threat of increasingly warming ties between North Korea and Russia. And after a $250 billion a year offer from rich nations was flatly refused by developing countries hardest hit by Earth's rapid warming, fierce bargaining at UN climate talks in Azerbaijan was dragged as negotiators from nearly 200 nations spent sleepless nights trying to land a compromise figure for poorer countries facing rising seas, harsher droughts, and worsening disasters. The marathon back and forth overnight in the Caspian Sea city of Baku had yet to produce a final draft acceptable to all. Azerbaijan, which is hosting the COP 2019 summit, had hoped to adopt a global deal by consensus at a closing session. However, the European Union at the closing session raised an offer by rich nations to help poor countries worst hit by climate change to $300 billion a year in a bid to salvage talks that the developing world warned were on the brink of collapse. Developing nations bearing the brunt of rising drought had rejected an initial offer of $250 billion per year, but 2035 by the year 2035 rather, but two negotiators said the EU was urging that wealthy countries raise the sum of $300 billion. And now to the world of sport. Pep Guardiola has said that 3/4 of the Premier League wants Manchester City relegated over alleged breaches of financial rules, but insisted he will stay at the Etihad even if they are demoted all the way down into the 5th tier of English football. Guardiola, who has won 6 Premier League titles in the past 7 years with City, signed a 2-year contract extension, committing him to the English champions until 2027. A hearing into the Premier League's 115 charges against City has been ongoing for several weeks, with a verdict expected before the end of the season. The club have strongly denied any financial wrongdoing, but could face a severe points penalty if found guilty of some or all of the charges. Host team Nigeria are determined to win the ongoing second Africa Military Games in Abuja as they top the medal standing with 64 medals after the conclusion of the Day 3 event. This was contained in the medal table released by the organizers of the game after the conclusion of the day's event. A further analysis of the medal table released by the organizers indicated that Team Nigeria have so far amassed 34 gold, 16 silver and 14, totaling 64 medals to top the medal table. Behind Team Nigeria, in a distant second position, is Team Algeria with 24 medals, comprising 19 gold, 3 silvers and 2 bronze. And Tunisia is third on the medal table with 9 medals made up of 1 gold, 7 silver and bronze. The English Premier League has unveiled the official dates for the 2025-2026 season. This was contained in a statement obtained from the EPL website titled Dates for 2025-2026 Premier League Season Confirmed. The announcement emphasizes a renewed commitment to players' welfare, particularly during the congested festive period. The new campaign will kick off on Saturday, August 16th, 2025, with the final match round slated for Sunday, May 24th, 2026, ensuring a thrilling season from start to finish. And that is it on Midday News, and it came to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. A quick reminder, the Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276 and free to air on Nightcomsat. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using @Global TV NG. I am Amina Jibril. Thank you for watching and good afternoon.